Final days of the 95-year-old legend and his 65-year-old wife, Betsy Arakawa, at their home in Santa Fe. Investigators established that Hackman died on February 17th, 9 days before his body was discovered, by examining his pacemaker.
In the quiet hours of Thursday, February 27, 2025, Gene Hackman's body arrived at the office of the Medical Investigator. As experts carefully examined every detail, initial reports raised more questions than answers. No visible signs of trauma, no immediate cause of death. Yet, whispers behind closed doors suggest something far more unsettling lurking beneath the surface. Now, shocking details from Hackman's autopsy are emerging, details that could change everything we thought we knew. Just what did OMI officials uncover? Let's dive in. The unsettling mystery of Gene Hackman's death. In a case that has left both investigators and the public baffled, the deaths of legendary actor Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy Arakawa have raised more questions than answers.
Now to the mysterious deaths of actor Gene Hackman and his wife. CBS's Tom Hansen is in Santa Fe, New Mexico, where police are seeking clues into what exactly happened.
The couple was found lifeless under inexplicable circumstances in their secluded Santa Fe mansion, a place once filled with life and memories now tainted by eerie silence and unsettling details. What was first believed to be a tragic but ordinary passing soon unraveled into something far more mysterious, one that has left even the most seasoned detectives perplexed. It all began on the morning of February 26, 2025, when a maintenance worker arrived at the couple's estate for a routine check. At first, nothing was alarming about the lack of response when he knocked on the door. Gene Hackman, 95, and Betsy Arakawa, 65, were known for their reclusive nature. But as minutes passed, an unsettling feeling crept in. Something wasn't right. Strangely, the door was slightly ajar. Concerned, the worker contacted neighborhood security, who arrived moments later and attempted to get a response. Still, silence. As they peered through the windows, a chilling sight awaited them. Inside, Gene and Betsy's lifeless bodies were sprawled in separate rooms. One of their dogs was also motionless, while the others, though alive, appeared distressed. The security team wasted no time calling 911. Within minutes, deputies from the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office arrived, but instead of finding clear answers, they uncovered a scene that only deepened the mystery. There were no signs of forced entry, no broken locks, no shattered glass, no signs of a struggle. The house was in perfect order, untouched by chaos or disruption, yet something was deeply unsettling. Betsy's body was found in the bathroom, near a countertop.
Police say they found the body of a German Shepherd in the bathroom closet,
where prescription pills lay scattered as if hastily abandoned. An overturned space heater nearby added to the confusion. Meanwhile, Gene Hackman's body was discovered in a small room near the back entrance. His cane rested close by, along with a pair of sunglasses, as though he had just set them down before everything went horribly wrong. Authorities initially suspected carbon monoxide poisoning, a silent, deadly killer in many household tragedies. But upon inspection, the gas lines were found to be in perfect condition. Even more puzzling, the couple's bodies showed signs of dehydration and desiccation, suggesting they had been dead for some time before they were discovered. Yet why had no one noticed their absence? Why had they not contacted anyone for help? The eeriness of the scene didn't end there. Investigators were particularly disturbed by the state of the pets. One dead, two alive. If there had been a toxic agent in the air, why had some animals survived while others hadn't? And then there was the open door, an ominous detail that couldn't be ignored. Had someone been there? Had someone left? Or had something else taken place within those walls, something no one could yet explain? With autopsies ordered and forensic teams scouring the estate, the truth remained frustratingly elusive.
1 week since the bodies of Gene Hackman, his wife Betsy Arakawa, and one of their dogs were found deceased in their 9,000 square foot Santa Fe home, their cause of death still a mystery.
There was no external trauma, no signs of a break-in, no immediate cause of death. Yet, a lingering feeling haunted the investigators, a sense that something crucial, something deeply unsettling, had yet to be uncovered. But what sinister secret lurked behind that open door? The eerie pet deaths and the baffling lack of answers? Stay tuned as we examine the most chilling theories behind this mystery. Theories and speculations surrounding Gene and Betsy's death. The mysterious deaths of Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa have sparked endless speculation. Was it a tragic accident, a sudden medical emergency, or something far more sinister? One of the most puzzling clues was the assortment of pills found near Betsy's body. An open prescription bottle and tablets scattered across the bathroom counter. Did she suffer a sudden health crisis, desperately reaching for medication? Or was it intentional? Some suggest that if one had overdosed, the other might have fallen into shock and despair, leading to a tragic chain of events. Another theory involved carbon monoxide poisoning, an invisible killer that leaves few traces. However, after thorough inspections, no leaks were found. Toxicology tests remained pending, keeping the theory alive but uncertain. The discovery of a monthly planner and 2 green mobile phones added intrigue. Had the couple been making secret plans? Did these devices contain messages or appointments that could explain their final days? Investigators searched their communications for clues, hoping to uncover what had happened behind closed doors. The lack of forced entry or struggle raised another unsettling possibility: a suicide pact. Perhaps one decided first, and the other followed in grief. But why were their bodies found separately? Gene was near the back entrance, while Betsy lay in the bathroom. If this were a planned act, why weren't they together? The home itself told a chilling story. The bodies were in an advanced state of decomposition, showing signs of prolonged neglect. Even more unsettling, a pet was found dead in a crate, suggesting it had been left unfed for days. This cast doubt on the idea of an immediate event. Had one of them survived long after the other, trapped in a house that had become a tomb? Then came the most startling discovery: data from Gene Hackman's pacemaker. Investigators turned to this tiny device which silently recorded his heart activity. Unlike human memory, a pacemaker doesn't forget. It tracks every beat, every irregularity, and every intervention. The last recorded activity from Hackman's pacemaker was on 17th February, 9 days before his body was discovered. For more than a week, no one had checked on him. No calls, no visits. He had simply ceased to exist in silence. But that raised an even darker question. What about Betsy? If Gene died on the 17th, had she perished at the same time? Or had she remained alive for days, isolated, unable to call for help? The initial forensic report suggested similar decomposition, but that alone could not confirm whether she had died with him or if she had been left alone, struggling to survive in a home that had become a prison.
The suspicious death of Gene Hackman and his wife. Officials appearing to rule out one possible explanation for what happened at the couple's New Mexico home.
But what haunting truth lies within those final days? Was Betsy trapped, helpless, as Gene lay lifeless? Stay tuned to uncover more. The Autopsy Report, examining the clues left behind. The ongoing investigation into the deaths of Gene Hackman and Miss Arakawa has raised many puzzling questions, particularly surrounding the condition of their bodies and the medical technology that might have provided early warning signs. Forensic experts are working through complex layers of evidence, attempting to understand what happened in the days leading up to their discovery. One of the most intriguing aspects of this case is Gene Hackman's pacemaker, which reportedly showed no recorded activity for 9 days before his body was found. Given the advanced capabilities of modern pacemakers, which can transmit data remotely to healthcare providers, this raises an obvious question. Why was no alert triggered? Typically, if a pacemaker stops functioning or records unusual activity, it sends a signal to medical professionals, notifying them of a potential issue. The fact that no such alert was received suggests multiple possibilities. Was the device an older model lacking remote monitoring capabilities? Was there a technical failure? Or did the data somehow go unnoticed? Forensic examination of the pacemaker will be crucial in answering these questions. After an autopsy is performed, the pacemaker can be removed and analyzed to determine its last recorded activity. If it turns out that the device had modern tracking features, investigators will need to determine why no external action was taken during those crucial 9 days. The Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office has already confirmed that preliminary autopsy results have not yet provided a clear cause of death, adding another layer of uncertainty to the case. A key challenge in reaching definitive conclusions is the state of decomposition of both bodies. Investigators have noted that Ms. Arakawa's remains were more advanced in decomposition than Hackman's, with some reports describing her body as mummified. In forensic terms, mummification refers to a natural drying out process, rather than the embalming methods used in ancient Egypt. A more accurate term would be desiccation, which indicates that the body was exposed to conditions that caused it to lose moisture rapidly. This could be due to factors such as heat, air circulation, or the specific environment in which she was found. Her hands and feet were particularly affected, displaying characteristics of mummification, while other parts of her body showed signs of bloating, a common occurrence during decomposition. The differences in decomposition between Hackman and Arakawa may be explained by the locations in which they were found. Arakawa's remains were discovered in a bathroom, an enclosed space that could have created a unique microclimate affecting the rate of decomposition. Hackman, on the other hand, was found in a mudroom, an area that likely had different temperature and humidity levels. Even small environmental differences can significantly impact how bodies break down over time. Additionally, exposure to external factors, such as air circulation or moisture, could have influenced the rate at which each body decomposed. Cases involving multiple deaths occurring in the same household, but under seemingly natural circumstances, are rare. Typically, simultaneous deaths are linked to external factors, such as poisoning, carbon monoxide exposure, or a shared traumatic event.
Hackman and his wife. The couple was found dead this week in their New Mexico home. On Friday, investigators ruled out carbon monoxide poisoning and revealed other clues that may lead them to determine what did happen.
In this case, no obvious external cause has been identified, making the forensic analysis even more critical. Authorities have ruled out carbon monoxide poisoning after extensive testing by fire and utility officials, who found no evidence of leaks in the home. Further examination of organ tissues under a microscope will be necessary to determine if any underlying medical conditions could explain the deaths. Heart tissue, for example, can reveal signs of myocardial infarction, a classic heart attack, where blood flow is blocked, causing part of the heart muscle to die. Even in decomposed bodies, forensic experts can often identify these telltale signs. Similarly, brain tissue can be analyzed for evidence of a stroke or other neurological conditions. Another key factor still under investigation is the toxicology report, which could provide insight into whether any substances played a role in the deaths. Toxicology tests analyze blood, tissue, and other bodily fluids for the presence of drugs, alcohol, or other chemicals. However, these results can take weeks, sometimes even months, to be processed, depending on the workload of the forensic laboratory handling the case. The uncertainty surrounding the deaths of Gene Hackman and Ms. Arakawa remains unresolved, with investigators carefully piecing together the available evidence. While forensic science offers many tools to uncover the truth, the unique circumstances of this case present significant challenges. Authorities continue to explore every possible angle, waiting for the final results that may ultimately explain what happened in those last days. But what hidden clues lie within their tissues and toxicology reports? Could science finally reveal the truth? Stay tuned to find out. Final autopsy report. Piecing together the final moments. The circumstances surrounding their deaths raise numerous questions, especially given the peculiar state of their bodies. Reports indicate that mummification was more pronounced in her case, whereas Jean Hackman's body displayed visible signs of decomposition. This discrepancy suggests the possibility that she may have died first. In forensic investigations, determining the sequence of deaths is a crucial aspect, and medical examiners often rely on external bodily changes to reconstruct the timeline. However, even with all the physical evidence available, pinpointing the exact order of events remains a challenge. Mr. Hackman, though elderly and reportedly infirm, was still mobile. Images of him using a cane and maintaining a slightly hunched posture suggest that he was capable of limited movement. Some reports even claim he participated in activities like yoga and Pilates, possibly at the encouragement of his wife, who may have seen these exercises as beneficial to his health. If she was indeed his primary caretaker and suffered a sudden medical event, it could have left him in a vulnerable and helpless state.
I have no idea. I'm not inside the house. It's closed. It's locked. I can't go in. But I see that she's laying down on a floor from the window.
Officials found the home's door open. Prescription pills.
The scattered pills in the bathroom and an overturned heater raise further questions. Authorities collected several medications from the scene, including a calcium blocker for blood pressure, thyroid medication, and Tylenol. The sheriff declined to disclose specific details about which medications belonged to whom. But the presence of these drugs hints at underlying health conditions in the household. Could an overdose have occurred? While overdosing is possible with many medications, the key detail is the blood pressure drug, which is sometimes used for angina, a condition causing persistent chest pain. If she suffered a cardiac event and passed away suddenly, Mr. Hackman, reliant on her, may have been left unable to properly care for himself. His final moments are equally perplexing. He was found in the mudroom, fully clothed in sweatpants and a long-sleeved blue t-shirt. His cane and slippers were nearby, and most curiously, his sunglasses lay close to his head. This positioning suggests he may have been attempting to leave the house, possibly in search of help. The mudroom is often an exit point in homes, which raises the question, was he trying to get outside? If he was disoriented or suffering from a medical condition like dementia, he might have struggled to find a way out. There's still much unknown about his cognitive state in the days leading up to his death, and whether he had been formally diagnosed with any degenerative conditions. Authorities also recovered medical records from the residents, likely to determine when either of them had last visited a physician. With advanced age comes the necessity for regular medical supervision, but whether they received consistent in-person checkups or relied on virtual telemedicine remains unclear. One report suggested that, due to COVID-19, she had made the decision to isolate them, though it is uncertain whether that isolation had continued in the years that followed. Despite this, she was known to have opened a business with a friend in Santa Fe, indicating some level of activity outside the home. But had their overall mobility and health significantly declined? Another troubling detail is the presence of their dog, who was also found deceased. The animal's condition raises further questions. Was it locked in a closet or a carrier without access to food and water? If the dog had been confined and left without water, death could have occurred within 2 to 3 days. Dehydration would have been a slow and agonizing process, and forensic veterinary specialists would need to perform a necropsy to determine the exact cause of death. Blood analysis could provide chemical markers indicating severe dehydration, but whether such tests were conducted remains uncertain. With every new detail, more questions emerge. The investigation may no longer be considered criminal, but forensic specialists must still piece together the events that led to this tragic end. Examining medical records, medication use, and even the dog's condition could help reconstruct the puzzle. For now, though, much remains unanswered. But what do you think? Was Gene Hackman desperately trying to seek help, or was something far more sinister at play? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.